Welcome everyone. If you are here before I am here, pretty sure I need to turn my volume down. So we are just setting up. I am just watching us connect into the Facebook group. So this is going to be where we are. So I'm just reloading the page. If you are here before me, welcome to the tapping circle here on the Spiritual Events Directory, live on a Monday morning here in Sydney. So for many of you, it is different parts of the world for sure. Here I am here. I just need to pick up the page. So welcome everybody. Hello, Darls. Lovely to have you here with me. Just let me set up my little laptop here. Fabulous to have you here with us. Always got to play with the technology on a Monday morning here for me. As we know, this is our weekly tapping session. It is called the Tapping Circle. This week we are going to look at the topic of overcoming rejection. Rejection is just such a big thing for so many of us. And I'm watching you all come on the call. Hey, Layla. Hey, Helen. Fabulous to have you here. We'll just talk for a few minutes until some other people turn up. I know by the time this sort of hits your inbox and you kind of log onto your live and all the rest of it, and if you're like me, I've kind of always got to go and find my iPad or find something to watch it on. As usual, we are going to run this as interactive. I love to hear from you. I love to see your comments. My one request is, if you're going to ask me a question, put a capital Q in the beginning of it, just so when I scroll through all the comments, I know it's a question and I know that I can answer it for you, rather than when you're doing these live, we get to see lots of scrolling and movement in the comments bar. So if it's comments, fantastic. But if you have a very specific question, all I ask is that you put that capital Q in the beginning so that I can actually make sure I answer your question. So we can start off, who am I? I'm Lorna Hollinger. I run the Australian Tapping Institute. So while it is based in Australia, I live in Australia, we do run our online programs. So they're 100% online. Anyone in the world can join in. Our flagship is I train practitioners of EFT. So we do practitioners of life coaching and EFT. So if you're looking for a practitioner, I can help you get your hands on one of those. If you want to become a practitioner, I can help you there as well. So what I also have is, so I've kind of got some notes here and I need to remember what I want to share with you. I also have a bunch of freebies. So I'm going to write it in the comment here where to go and get them. So if you wanted to head to my website, can I actually type? No, I can't. If you head to my website, what you can do is click on the home study link page and you can then download or go in and enroll in any of our free programs that we offer. So we've got a couple of them, just checking I can spell this morning. Put a dot in there. Beautiful. So if you want to go onto that website, you are very welcome to click on the home study programs and go along and enroll yourself in any one of our free courses. So the self-love project is simply that. Let's get some more love into your life. Let's get your headspace into a space where you want to love yourself, you feel more comfortable loving yourself, and you make those great decisions on who you are and how you do love yourself. Wayana, Kia ora. I know that's New Zealand. I probably didn't say it right, but welcome. So go get some free courses if you want them. Any topics that you guys want on these sessions, either private message me, it's Lorna Hollinger, send me an email at hello@australiantappinginstitute.com.au, and we will make this about you for what you want, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you, and I want to have you enjoy tapping and get the very most out of EFT tapping. It's my passion, it's my baby. So what are we going to do? So let's get started. We've waited a couple of minutes. People are going to continue to come on the call, but let's get going in. I said, remember, capital Q for questions. Otherwise, tap along with me. If you're new to tapping, all you have to do is follow along with me. Whatever part of the body I'm tapping on, that's what you're going to tap on. Don't get worried if you miss a point. Don't get worried if you think you're not keeping up. Just tap on your body and just repeat the sentence after me. That's all you have to do. Everything else I got covered, okay? So now I do have notes because I do write out an actual class for these sessions. I want this to be really worthwhile for you. So while you see I look at my notes, yeah, I actually do have a whole lesson plan and a whole classroom written out for us. So let's get started. Let's get grounded into the session. Let's get grounded into what we're going to do. Wayana, just type in your question there for me, darling, and I will answer it when we get through the tapping, and when we sort of get past the grounding, I will happily come back and answer any questions that anybody has. So even though part of me is not grounded and isn't present, I choose to feel grounded now. Even though part of me is somewhere else, I choose to come into this space, choose to come into my body and be here right now. I choose to come in to my body. I choose to come into this space. I choose to come into a space of lifting my own energy, my own presence, and my own body. And I'm just going to feel. So beautiful. Let's just tap through the points. I'm going to choose to feel present now. I'm going to choose to feel present and grounded. I'm going to choose to feel present and grounded. Grounded in my space. Grounded in my body. This is my time. I'm going to have my time. Feeling present. Feeling grounded. Feeling in this space. Feeling grounded. Feeling present. I'm in my space. This is my time. Time for me. Time for me. Time for me. Present in my space. Present in this call. Present for me. I'm feeling present in this time. So today's class I've written up is on rejection. For me, when I first start working with people, one of the things that comes up a lot of the time, sadly, is those feelings of rejection, those feelings of, I don't feel like I belong, I feel like somebody has wronged me, I feel like somebody isn't accepting of me. And I really just wanted to deal with this sort of, to deal with this topic so we can kind of get some traction happening together. We're going to come together this is a Monday morning for me, whatever time this is for you, same time every Monday, I'm going to be here with you to take you through all this stuff. So I want you to have pen and paper. We're going to make it like a class. We're going to make this interactive, that you're actually going to get something out of it. You're not going to just come here and listen to me talking. I want you to actually do the work with me in this call. Let's do it together. So pen and paper, journal, whatever's going to work for you, bring that to the call with you, okay? So you can actually do the work while we're here together. We're here anyway, so let's do that. So I'm going to ask questions. I want you to write in your journal. I want you to write. Happily put some comments in the comment board. Interact with me here in the comments down the side. I said happy to read comments and interact with you. Questions get a capital Q. Just remember that. So how do you know? Let's go into it. How do you know when you've been rejected? How do you actually know that? What do you actually experience when you have those feelings of rejection coming up? What actually is it for you? Is it something physical in your body? Do you feel your face flushes? Do you find tears welling up a little bit? What is it for you? What actually happens in you? And so these are journal things. If you don't kind of get into it now, just write the questions down for as we go along. What in your body tells you you've just been rejected or you're experiencing the emotion of rejection? Write it down. What actually is it for you? I know for me, it's the face flushes, and I kind of get this, like a bit of a warmth comes up through my face. That's how I know I'm kind of experienced that feeling of rejection. But everybody's going to be different. Some people are going to have kind of the stomach going on. Some people are going to have the chest and the throat coming on. Work out what it is for you. Write it down for me. So what does it actually feel like? Is it something physical? As I said, we're going to work out, is it in the body? Is it just an emotion that comes up for you? Generally, that will also have a physical thing, but I want you to kind of get in tune with this stuff is what I'm trying to get you to do. Does it trigger other things? Does it trigger other thoughts that run through your head? Does it trigger a whole lot of different stuff going on for you when that feeling and that emotion of rejection comes up? I think rejection starts way back in our childhood. I really just feel that seems to be where it really kind of started. And it could be anything from, kids in the playground. Some of us can take it way back to stuff that happened in our home. Did mum, dad, or caregiver, withdraw some love from us? Did brothers or sisters push us away and reject us as, what brothers and sisters do? And that emotion of rejection sort of was really strongly felt. Sometimes it can be one event, but generally I find it's a sequence of events that just keep adding to each other. It generally isn't just one event that happens that this feeling of rejection starts to roll on. So this is a class I ran live when I did some live training as well in Sydney. So some of these questions come from here. So I said, once again, I want you to keep that journal out, keep the pen and paper out, write in the comments here to me. What sort of general events have come up for you that you felt rejected? What things did happen? Are there maybe 2 or 3 you can just write down really quickly now? 2 or 3 things that came up in your life where rejection was the instant emotion you went to. Even if you didn't know back then that's what it was, you can now look and go, yeah, well, that's what I was feeling in that moment. 2 or 3 things, very, very, very quickly. What sort of have been the general events where you have felt that rejection? So I just want you to give you a couple of minutes to write that down. I'll have a quick little cup of tea. Welcome to everyone who's just joined us. We are working through rejection. We are using EFT tapping to overcome this rejection. And you're currently writing down a couple of little life events that have got you to that feeling of rejection. So let's keep going. So what do you think of the idea that it's actually your interpretation to those events? What do you think of that? So, rejection is one of those things that seems to come up only when there's another person involved. Some of our other emotions can come up when we're by ourselves and other thoughts, but the rejection seems to be a trigger from another person. So what do we think of the idea that it's your interpretation of those events that cause the emotion? I know that might not sit well with some people, but some people it's going to sit really well with. You're going to get that. Was the other person intentionally rejecting you? Was the other person intentionally doing something that was going to hurt and wound you? It could be quite well that they absolutely were. They knew completely what they were doing. They were being completely nasty. But there are some instances also where that isn't the case. And we're just going to kind of separate them a little bit together. There are sometimes when there are people who they appear to have rejected you, you felt wounded and rejected, but they really just had a bunch of their own stuff going on. They just had a whole lot of things going on for them. They've reacted and made a comment to you. They've continued on with your day, and you're sitting there with an emotion and a reaction. The interpretation is, I feel very rejected by them right now. And both sides are okay. All we're talking about here in these sessions are your truth. We're not trying to make one right, one wrong, blame here, blame. All we're doing is talking to your truth. And I only ever want you to focus on what is true for you. None of it's right, none of it's wrong. Everything's just going to talk in neutral because they're all there and they're all very real for you. So what if someone was purposely trying to hurt you? Yes, they could be. They could be very, very mean, very, very nasty. And yet it can be a real cut. It absolutely can. But some of the work we're going to do here together is get you past that. Because you know what? Leave that person with their opinion. Leave that person with their thoughts about you. Leave that person with whatever they want to think about you. And we're going to build the self-love here so that they don't matter. They actually don't matter, because we're going to boost your self-esteem to a space where who cares what that other person thinks? Who cares? And quite often I find with people, we take on the comments and the opinions of people, and particularly people we like the least and people who we have the least respect for. Somehow their voice so often will seem the loudest in our head. And that just sounds so counterintuitive, doesn't it? The person I respect the least, I hear their voice the most. The person I respect the least, the person I dislike the most, is the voice that's the loudest. And logically, that doesn't make sense, does it? But that's what our psyche does. So let's continue on. We're going to talk about the fact that it's our interpretations of events. And I know that we've all got feelings of rejection, and every single one of us has been rejected by somebody. I know that we all have. It would not be, I don't think, us getting into our adult lives without those feelings coming up. So you know what? Let's go and do some other tapping, and let's get into actually working through it. Here's me pulling my sleeves up. Let's get into it. So all again, so if you're new to tapping, you're just going to follow along. You're not going to overthink it. You're just going to follow with us. Even though I feel rejected at times, deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel rejected by him or her, I feel deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I do feel rejected at times, and this does make me feel so sad, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. We're just going to tap through the points. I said, just keep tapping with me. Don't overthink it. Feel into it. Being rejected. It feels so bad. Sometimes it physically hurts. Sometimes it feels like I have been stabbed. Stabbed in my heart. Sometimes it feels I'm stabbed in the chest. I'm being rejected. It feels so bad. Let's keep tapping. I feel like I'm a child again. Sometimes it just wants to make me cry. Sometimes I feel like I just want to hide. Sometimes it makes me just want to shout out and to defend myself. This being rejected, it feels so bad. It makes me choose to feel worthless. I take rejection so personally. I let that rejection creep in. It feels so bad. Yet I still let it in. So let's just take a lovely big deep breath. Oh, hey, Rachel. I met Rachel on retreat on the weekend. Good morning, my gorgeous girl. Welcome again. Thanks for tuning into our show. So what are some of the physical things that happen in your body when you choose to feel rejection? What actually happens? So for some people, it's going to be things like they will choose to shut down. They will choose to emotionally shut down. They will choose to physically shut down. And they will choose to retreat. Which one is it for you? Some people shy away. Some people will start to avoid other people and other situations. There will be people who will get upset. They will get teary. They may actually even start to cry. It's such an overwhelming emotion for so many people. Some people are going to get aggressive. Some people are going to get passive aggressive. Quick one for you. What is it for you? What do you actually do when you get to feel rejected? And while you're writing that down, Amanda says, I run. What else do you do? Happily, you type it in the box here. Let's share it all here. I'm going to do a quick call to my beautiful Mary from my school and Rochelle and Susie that I know. Fantastic to have you here with us. Love that you're here. Love your work, girls. What is it for you? What do you physically do when you feel rejected? I said we've got Amanda says I run. People close down, they shut down, they withdraw, they get emotional, the tears come. Things happen to you. Get clear on what it is for you. Do you get aggressive? Do you then come back on the attack? Do you do the passive aggressive? Not quite aggressive, but you're kind of happy to have the dig there. Remember, this is all about your truth. What truth do you feel? Very, very quick, write it down in your journal. Rosa does self-sabotage. Notice how all these things are coming up. One rejection, one emotion, one event, and we're all feeling a whole lot of the above. All right, Amanda pushes back. Notice that we go into stuff. Karina, hibernation. All stuff we do that we're triggered from way, way, way back. Susie says she eats. Good, great stuff going on. Hey, gorgeous Mary, love you. What is it for you? Now, I think that rejection comes from a really deep core primal need that we humans have to belong. I really do think that is one of the things. The three fundamental fears of human existence are: I do not belong, I am not good enough, and I am not loved. If we broke down everything, every pattern, everything that's a little bit unsettling for any single one of us, it will be, I believe, one of these three things. I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, and I don't belong, which makes perfect sense when you think of rejection, because rejection is, I'm not feeling like I belong with this person. I might not feel I belong in the situation I'm in. I don't feel I belong in the family I'm in. All of these things are about belonging. So it makes sense from a very primal human wiring. When I don't feel I belong, I'm going to feel threatened. I'm going to feel scared. And my safety is going to be the thing that feels threatened. So whether you recognize it or not yet, whether you've made those little connections for yourself or not, that feeling of being rejected triggers those primal fears. I don't belong. And we as humans worked out, many millennia ago, when we don't belong, our chances of survival are far, far less. That's why we live in tribes. That's why we live in communities, because we know on a very hard wiring tribal basis, that's where our actual survival is going to come from. To me, these feelings of rejection, they trigger that in us. And it's a feeling of not feeling safe, right on its ground roots level. Right, so I'm going to continue on. We're going to do some more tapping together, okay? So while I've got a little bit of paper for today, lost my stapler, couldn't staple it, had to pin it. It's just not, the paper's just not folding. Those high quality problems that we all kind of have. All righty, so let's go through the points. This rejection, it takes away my feeling of safety. I didn't know that it went so deep. It just doesn't feel safe to me. It doesn't feel safe when I feel rejected. Regardless of what was said or what was done, this rejection doesn't feel safe to me. I thought it was me just being upset, feeling hurt or wounded. I had no idea it ran so deep for me. I wonder how many events I have like this that keep holding up this belief of rejection. It just makes me feel so rejected. Just keep tapping with me. This being rejected, it feels so bad. Sometimes it physically hurts. Feeling stabbed in the heart. Feeling stabbed in the chest. Just feeling rejected. Hurt and wounded. Being rejected. just feel so bad. I feel like I'm a child again. Makes me want to cry. Makes me want to hide. Makes me want to lash out. Makes me want to defend myself. Being so rejected, it feels so bad. Makes me feel worthless. I take it so personally. I let that rejection just creep on in, and it feels so bad, yet I still let it in. This rejection, this feeling of not being safe, it doesn't feel safe. All of this rejection, all of this rejection, all of this rejection, all of this rejection. Now, for me, rejection, it really is just one of the biggest issues that seem to come up for people. It's very rare a client comes into my rooms and says, you know, I'm here because I feel rejected, but underneath the core of it is going to be these feelings of, how do I react when somebody, when I interpret that person's response, that person's comment to me, that person's body language, the feeling, when I interpret that as rejection. It leads us to playing it small. We had comments in the box. Patricia's saying, you know, angry and emotional. She gets passive aggressive. You know, we had Susie talking about eat. Rochelle retreats. You know, we have all sorts of things. Amanda pushes back, self-sabotage. We have all sorts of things. You know, Amanda also runs. All of these emotions are because we don't feel safe. So we are going to do whatever that primal drive is in us, that primal reaction is, how do I feel safe within myself? What do I do that makes us feel safe? And the other thing is, I said earlier, rejection seems to be that one of the main things that needs another person to be involved. If you're just sitting on the sofa, watching TV, doing your own thing, out bushwalking, going for a bike ride, at work, unless there's another person involved, I find rejection doesn't come up. If it does when you're in those moments, it's because you're thinking of a past event about somebody else. There's a trigger to it that still involves another person. Or you're thinking of something that's going to happen in the future based on your evidence from an event in your past. Because while you're off doing your thing and you're happy in your own self, rejection isn't something that you necessarily feel. Unless, of course, we've still got some more work for you to do on your self-love, self-acceptance, and self-care. Because you can be rejecting yourself. You can be in a space where your dialogue is just so negative towards yourself, your behaviors that you do towards yourself, the punishing with food, punishing with drugs, alcohol, whatever that is for you, are all ways of you rejecting yourself. So that's another way to think of it as well. It's not just always what somebody else does to you. It's often what you do to yourself as well. And now also, and this one's not going to be happy with a lot of people, your world's your mirror as well. So if some other people are rejecting you, somewhere in yourself, you're rejecting yourself. If somebody is externalizing this, this is your mirror. It is showing you you're thinking these thoughts, you're behaving in this way towards yourself. This person's mirroring it back. And I know that doesn't sit well with a lot of you, and I know some of you are cringing and not liking to hear it. But remember, this show each week is about our truth, understanding us and just learning and loving our own truth. That's what we're here to do. All right, so let's just do some more tapping, because I know that will be a trigger for some of you, and I'm just going to tap you back down out of it. They rejected me. They rejected me. It felt like they were pushing me aside. I felt like they didn't want me. It felt like they didn't want to talk to me. It feels like they don't want me around. It feels like I'm not good enough. They rejected me. I rejected me. I feel like I'm pushing myself aside. Sometimes I don't want me. Sometimes I don't want to be with me. Sometimes I don't want myself around. I feel I'm not good enough. They reject me, but I reject me. Don't know if I like that concept, but perhaps it's true. I push myself aside. I say quite mean things to myself. I reject myself. I don't even know if I like that idea. I'm not sure if I like it, but maybe it is my truth. Maybe I do reject myself. Maybe I do reject myself. And the idea that they're a mirror, I don't like that truth. Rejection triggers me from my childhood. It comes from deep within. Not being good enough. Not being worthy. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I get so angry. Sometimes I push back. Sometimes I run. Sometimes I eat. Sometimes I retreat. Sometimes I'm passive aggressive. Sometimes I sabotage. Sometimes I retreat. My triggers from childhood, deep within. My triggers from childhood, deep within. I cry. I get angry. I get hurt. I feel wounded. I feel sadness. I feel anger. Quite often I feel like a child who's been rejected by someone who should love me. This rejection in my life. Those primal emotions of feeling rejected, it really does seem to trigger the bulk of this. Now, it may not be you, but from the clients I've worked with and the people I've worked with, the students in my school, and even myself, I know those feelings of rejection take us straight back into childhood. It seems to bring up that little self. It seems to bring up that little part of us that is looking for love and feels they're not belonging and feels like they're not being looked after and doesn't feel safe, is those feelings of rejection. So I'm going to quickly go back to our initial conversation. Where have you been rejected? Quickly write it down if you didn't before. What do you actually experience in your body? What are the thoughts that come up for you? What does your body do to tell you that this is a rejection feeling and not a different emotion that you're feeling? Because, we have lots and lots of emotions coming up all the time. What other emotion is it that comes up? Is it rejection or is it something else? And get good at this by knowing what's happening in your body. What emotional feelings are there? What physical feelings? Do you feel tightness somewhere? As I said earlier, for me, it's the flush in my face. I feel it coming up and I feel this flush in my face when that emotion of rejection gets triggered for me. Get good at what knowing it is for you. The more you feel it and the more you recognize it and the more true you get to you, the more we can do with it here in session, the more we can move it on and move away from and resolve those little triggers for you, because that's what we're going to do. We're not going to resolve the rejection here. We're going to come back and we're going to untag stuff. We're going to untag the stuff from behind. The untag the stuff and the emotional triggers in your past is what we're going to be doing here together. And that's why what all this tapping is here. Now, it's always going to depend on what events you've had. I don't know what your events are. They're all going to be a whole lot of different things going on. So all of what I'm asking you to do is get good at your body, understand and know your body. That's what we've come here to do. So I want to go through, oh yeah, I've got some homework. That's what this is about. I've got some homework. What I want you to do is I want you to make a note of what you're going to do after this session, okay? While I've got your focus here on your tapping, I want you to do 5 minutes a day tapping. Every single person on this call has 5 minutes a day. Set a time if you need to. Each one of those things that you wrote down about your body and what the thoughts are, tap on one of those. So you could be, if you have, so I have some comments coming in. So Amanda's unfortunately doing some throwing up, crying and nausea. Man, this is big physical stuff in your body. Are you recognizing what physical, emotional stuff's coming up for you guys? Get into and understand it. Sick, anxious. We've got, I'm going to say nausea and throwing up and vomiting, crying, sadness. So what I want you to do is 5 minutes a day. And all you need to do is, if you don't want to come back to this call, all you have to do is here. Remember, this is my go-to spot. Your hand can go in your top, in a shirt, under a scarf. And I bet you it's getting hot and cold in Sydney here. So, lots of layers for us. And I just tap here on my one spot, my collarbone. And it's my go-to. And I do it flat. Let me get my beads out of the way. I can kind of do it this flat-chested way. Let me just get rid of the things that are popping up. Flat-chested here. The flat-chested bit that's just here. And all you have to say is, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. If you want to take a step, you can just go with this rejection, all of this rejection. Where I feel rejected, I'm done. Where I feel rejected, let it go. But just here, you can do all the tapping points if you choose. I just find this is inconspicuous, easy. No one needs to know what I'm doing. I can do it anywhere, public transport, in the car, sitting with the kids doing their homework, anything. And just the dialogue, 5 minutes, that's all you got to do. But if you do I am safe, it will start to cover off some many, many things, right? So that's your home plate for us. That's what you're going to do. Now we're grown-ups. I'm never going to check on your homework. Do it for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. This is your health and your healing. All right, so let's come and do this more tapping. So imagine focusing on one of your events. Imagine just one of the times, and if it's very emotional for you, please don't go into it. I don't have time, it sounds terrible to say, I don't have time to work with you to bring you all the way back out. So if it's something that's very, very emotive, very, very emotional, try to pick one that's a little bit gentle on yourself, because we're here in a group. Group's fantastic, but I'm not here with you one-on-one. And I would hate to end the call and not have you in a really great space with us. So pick something that's not quite as highly charged for yourself, and let's go and do some tapping on that. We're going to start back up here at the eyebrow point. This one event in my life, that one thing that happened that day, this very, very big event, this memory I have of it. I can't believe that this happened. Can't believe I'm carrying it around. This memory of that event. This event that I had. That thing that happened. That little event that happened. I still have big memories of it. I still have big memories of it. Very specific memory of it. And I'm still carrying it around. That thing that happened, that event that happened, this big event. I remember the details. I remember how I felt. And I'm still carrying it around. The memory of that event. All of this rejection, all of this rejection, all of this rejection. I remember it so clearly. All of this rejection, the memories of that event, the memories of that event, all of this rejection, all of this rejection, all of this rejection. I'm still carrying it around. After all this time, carrying it around and carrying it around. Oh, I forgot what I was going to. All right. We're going to start to release this, okay? Releasing this memory. I'm going to release this event. I can't change that it happened. I can change how I feel about it. I can change how I feel about it. I can change how I reacted to it. That thing that happened. That thing that happened. That thing that happened. I'm going to let it go. I want to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I am going to let it go. That thing that happened. That thing that happened. I'm going to release it. I'm going to unwire it. I'm going to untag it. I'm going to put it in the past where it belongs. It can no longer hurt me. Can no longer have a trigger. No longer. It can't control me. It can't do anything to me. It can't. It's done. And I'm done with it. And I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I am letting it go. I have let it go. I have let it go. I've let it go. I'm going. I've let it go because it's safe to let it go. It's safe without it. It is safe to let it go. It is safe to let it go. It is safe to let it go. And I have let it go because I feel safe. I feel safe. I'm a grown-up. I can handle this. I have me on my side. And I've let it go because I got this. I've so got this. So we've spent some time together and I'm hoping you're feeling the energy. You know, you hear me talk about this is like the energy moving in my body. I feel like the blood moves in my veins. It's always been my easiest way to explain it, the blood moving in my veins. So now that we've cleared out some of the negative stuff and you've got some home play to do, you've got some stuff to do. I said 5 minutes a day, set that timer. Just keep clearing out this feeling of rejection. We are going to go and do some positive tapping, all right? We've kind of got about 15 minutes left here together. There are some questions up the top that I will answer, but I want to just continue to get through and get us really pumped back up to where I want us to be before the end of the call, all right? So here we go. I have a belief around myself. It's a belief that I created. I created a belief that I'm just not good enough. And I made it up, and I made it up, and I made it up. What truth did I base it on? What truth did I base this on? It was a reaction. It was a feeling at the time. It was not something that can hurt me now. I made it up. I felt something in a moment. I gave feeling to it. I breathed life into it. But it was a moment in time. There may have been lots of moments, but they were still only moments. They were still only moments. And there's times when I wonder, do I actually like the person who rejected me? Do I even respect that person? Do I respect their opinion? Do I care about them? So why am I listening to them? Why am I allowing what they thought to shape my world? Why am I allowing their opinion to have any power over me? Why am I allowing their negativity to impact my day. Not sure why I'm even doing that, but I'm going to give it some more thought. It's time for me to step into my truth. It's time for me to build on my self-respect. It's time for me to boost up my self-love. It's time for me to stand in my power of who I am. It's time for me to just let go of their stuff and boost my own self-opinion. When my inner voice is strong, when my inner voice is powerful, when my inner voice is my own guidance, I can feel empowered. And what they think doesn't matter. What they're saying, who cares? None of that matters. My inner voice is what I need to choose. My inner voice is what I need to listen to. My own inner voice. My own inner voice. It needs to get stronger. It needs to get positive. It needs to get louder. It needs to come from love. And I'm going to choose to have that. So I want you to now come into a space. I'm just going to check my notes, make sure I've got nothing else written that I need to share with you. Beautiful. We have about 10 minutes left together. And what I absolutely want to do here is to get into that really high-end positive tapping that I do. So from this space, I'm going to start to use words, and I want you to start to write, to bring your own words through. So I'm going to start to go through, I am amazing. Now, I'm going to say right here, I don't care if you don't think you're amazing. I just want you to repeat after me. I am an amazing woman. I am a fabulous man. I am a great child. I am a good person. I really am caring. I really am a helper. I really am a lovely person. Now, we're really going to get into it, right? Okay? I want you to bring up some words. Right? I'm even going to take my glasses off so we can get into all of the points. I don't want to read. I want you to feel. I am amazing. Whether you believe it or not, you've been telling yourself rubbish for years, tell yourself this rubbish. I am fabulous. I am full of love. I am full of grace. I am full of light. What else is coming up for you? What other words come up for you? What other words are coming up for you? I am amazing. They've got to be positive, no negative. I am fabulous. I am smart. I am funny. Use your words. I am caring. I am loving. What words are coming up for you? Keep using them. Keep using them. I'm going to keep going because these are my ones I use for myself. I am fabulous. Your words. I am amazing. I am powerful. I am loving. I am sweet. I am sincere. I am honest. Keep your words coming. I want you to get some of this positive stuff in. I am amazing. I do great things. I'm a fabulous person. Rochelle, I'm going to ask you to up that considerably, my lovely. Good's not good enough for you. I am a great person. Rochelle's written, I am good. Rochelle, you are a great person. You are a fabulous woman. I know you, Rochelle. You are beautiful. You are worthy. So is everyone on the call. These words, I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of kindness. Use these words, amp them up. I am great. whether you believe them or not. You may be an amazing parent. You may be a super caring, fabulous child. You may be an amazing boss. You may be a great leader at your work. Whether you're the boss of the place or you're not, you still could be a great leader because you lead by example. You are lovable. Yes, Amanda, you are absolutely lovable, totally, completely lovable in every way, shape, and form. We've got to get you, when you look in the mirror, you see somebody you like. You like the person you are. I want you to love the person you are, but I'm happy to start at like. I like myself. I love myself. I show grace and compassion to people. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I want you to really infuse yourself at this point in time with this really upbeat, positive stuff. The great words, whether you believe them or not. I am amazing. I am passionate. I am loving. I am caring. I am a great person. I am amazing. And I love myself. Now, I'm hoping you absolutely, totally am loving doing this. Adrian, I deserve to be loved. Adrian, you are love. You absolutely are. Tell yourself, I am unconditional love. Tap that in. It's not that you deserve it. You are it. Be it. Enjoy it. All right, so we are coming towards the end of this week's session, and it's been fantastic to have you with us. Rachel, you are confident. That is fantastic. Yes, you are. Now, I'm just going to put in my little website again and hope that I can spell again, because I have some freebies there. Oh, no, I can't spell. itute.com.au. Okay. So the little link I've popped in there, I haven't even typed it properly. Australian Tapping Institute.com.au. I've left an I out, so just please forgive me. Head there and we have some free resources. I have 2 free programs that you are welcome to enroll yourself in. One is the Self-Love Project, heavily based in tapping, heavily based in tapping. Download it, download the workbooks, do the work, and get yourself some tapping resources. It's a great little program. It's free, my gift to you. There's another one called the Self-Love Project. That was that one. Your Life by Design. Your Life by Design takes you more into the coaching space, takes you more into the conversations of what sort of life coaching questions people ask, what sort of questions people head into when we are doing life coaching. But it's your gift. You can actually work through it yourself. If people are interested in becoming an EFT practitioner, we have, I'm based in Sydney, I've got a 100% online program. You learn in your own home, you come together with us in Zoom calls, we do all of the whole thing for 12 months together, and we'll graduate you out with a practitioner of emotional freedom techniques, which is EFT tapping, and life coaching, a whole holistic program. So for you to come out and heal the world and come and do great work in the world, just like myself and my other practitioners are. I've got my beautiful Mary on the call, Rochelle's on the call, both in my course, both students of mine, and just absolutely both going out there and rocking the world as it is. The more of this work we do together, the better it is for all of us, and the better our world just becomes. Now, I'm just going to scroll back up because right at the beginning, we did have some questions. Wayana and Amanda, I hear what you said about young mothers, fathers, brothers, and step-parents, and I'm hoping you'll continue to do this. I think it was Rosa said, can you watch this again? You absolutely can. It stays on the Spiritual Events Directory Facebook page, so you can come back to it and do it at any point in time. I'm pretty sure because it's then recorded, you can stop and start. If there's bits you want to actually stop and start on, you can absolutely stop and start and replay the bits that you want to hear. Now I've kind of got a bit of a halt here. Let me continue down and see what this specific question was. Why is it not working properly? Don't you hate when it doesn't work properly? Because it was a very, very specific question. And I think it's kind of gone maybe. All right, so I did have some questions. So what I'll do is, Thank you, Mary. Yes, you are one of my beautiful, beautiful, absolutely. Mary's just rocking the world here in Australia, gals and guys, and opening up her great EFT studio here, and fabulous to have her on here. What I will do is I will go back through this after the call. There is a couple of little questions here that are a little bit deep to answer. I'll answer them in writing rather than here. Remember, if you have topics that you would like me to work over and work through and bring to this, oh, there you go. Patricia's saying you can actually download and save the video. I'm sure it was Rosa. Oh, Sue, you're with us too, another fabulous student in our practitioner program. You can download the video, yes, Rosa, and work through it. What else have I got to tell you? Any other topics you want, please send me a private message, pop an email into the Hello at Australian Tapping Institute. This session's for you. They're interactive. They're all about tapping. We're going to work through stuff together. They're not listening. Bring your journal. Do the work. You've got homework. Remember, 5 minutes a day. Put your timer on, and you're just going to tap through this rejection. All right, you're just going to tap through this rejection and say that. And I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to see you on the next call. As I said, the same time next Monday for us in Australia, whatever time it is for you around the world. I'm going to pop a photograph in the bottom of the video so you've got the tapping points if you're not 100% clear. And I will see you all next Monday morning. For me, have a fabulous, fabulous week. Now, I've got to go and click buttons, so I'll make sure I don't make funny voices and funny faces while I pop across to Zoom and I get to end the call over there. So everyone, bye, and I will see you again really, really soon.